We're going to solve another problem in case 2, in which we are starting with a favorable passbook balance. Let's get into the sum. 31st March 2015, bank statement of a merchant shows a credit balance of 33,570, whereas cash book showed debit balance of 50,000. Okay, so in this case, both cash book and passbook balances are favorable. And I'm going to be starting with my passbook. So let me write down my passbook balance, 33,570. This question is a little open-ended. They have given us both cash balance as well as bank balance. We can either start with our cash book balance or we can start with our passbook balance. I am going to be starting with our passbook balance. Balance as per passbook, credit 33, how much? 570. Because it's favorable, I'm writing it in the add plus column. And my cash book shows debit balance of 50,000. It was observed that differences were because of the following: checks and drafts sent to the bank but not collected and credited amounted to 7,900, and 3 checks drawn for rupees 3,000, 1,500 and 2,000 respectively were not presented for payment until 30th April 2015. Okay, so there are two separate cases in this. Let's break this down. So checks and drafts were sent to the bank but were not collected and credited. So what does that mean? We were suppose in our cash book we have recorded that we have collected 7,900 rupees in checks. But in my passbook that amount has not yet been credited. What does this mean? My cash book balance is more than my passbook balance, and if I need to equalize the two, I have to add 7,900. So here I will add checks not yet cleared, 7,900. Now let's see the next part of the question. 3 checks for rupees 3,000, 1,500 and 2,000 respectively were not presented for payment until 30th April. So 3 checks, 3,000, 1,500, 2,000. So that's total of 6,500. So this amount, checks were issued for these amounts, okay, but these checks have not yet been presented to the bank until 30th April 2015. But we have to create our bank reconciliation statement as on 31st March. So what are we going to do? So what does this mean? This means that my cash book balance is less by 6,500 than my passbook. So I will deduct 6,500 from my passbook. Got it? These checks have been issued for payment. So in my cash book, I have deducted these checks. But they have not yet been presented to the bank. That means that amount is still in my bank account, right? It has not yet been deducted. So my passbook balance is more than my cash book balance by the amount of 6,500. If I want to equalize the two, I will have to deduct 6,500 from my passbook. Checks issued but not yet presented for payment. $6,500. Okay, let's see the next one. Bank has paid a bill payable amounting to 10,000, but this has not been entered in the cash book, and a bill receivable of rupees 5,000, which was discounted with the bank, was dishonored by the drawee on the due date. Okay, In the next coming chapters, we'll be dealing with bills of payment in detail. So just for now, note that bills payable is a liability. So the bank has paid a bill worth rupees 10,000 on our behalf, and this has not yet been reflected in our cash book. That means our cash book has a higher balance than our passbook by 10,000 rupees. Now our cash book balance is more than our passbook balance. So to equalize it, I'll have to add 10,000 to my passbook balance. See, the bank has directly made a payment. Consider this transaction for now as a standing payment, as a standing instruction payment. How were we doing it previously for standing instructions? Same way, for now you take bills payable. It is a liability. The bank has paid it off directly and it has not been recorded in the cash book. So our cash book balance is more than our passbook. And if I need to equalize the two, I will have to add 10,000 rupees to my passbook. Bills payable not recorded. Now the next transaction, a bill receivable of rupees 5,000 which was discounted with the bank was dishonored by the drawee on the due date. See, a bill receivable has been discounted by the bank. What does this mean? Bill was presented to the bank has given payment. Bank is expecting payment on a later date. But on that later date, this drawee is not paying up. Now, from where will the bank recover the money? From the person to whom he has issued it to. So, in our accounts, 5,000 rupees should be less. In our passbook, now 5,000 rupees will be deducted. But the same effect has not been shown in our cash book, right? So, our cash book balance is higher than our passbook balance by 5,000 rupees. So, I will have to add back 5,000 rupees to my passbook to equalize the two. My cash book balance is more by 5,000. My passbook balance is less by 5,000. So if I need to equalize it, I will raise my passbook balance. So I will add 5,000 rupees to my passbook. Don't get confused with bills. In the next coming chapters, we'll be dealing with it in detail. Bill receivable dishonored. Not recorded in cash book. Rupees 5,000. Let's see the next transaction. Bank has charged rupees 130 as its commission for collecting outstation checks and has allowed an interest on 100 rupees. Okay, let's divide this also. So bank has charged 130 rupees. So bank charges. Now our passbook balance is less by 130 rupees than our cash book balance. Now if I need to equalize it, I will have to add it. This bank charge has not been recorded in our cash book. So our cash book balance is more than our passbook. And if I want to equalize the two, I will have to add it to my passbook balance. Bank commission. Okay, double M spelling. Rupees 130. And what is the next part? They have allowed an interest of 100 rupees on the trader's balance. So that means my passbook balance is higher than my cash book balance by 100 rupees. So I will deduct. Bank interest allowed. Rupees 100. Balance as per cash book. It should be a debit balance only. Because they have given that in the question. 33,570 plus 7,900 plus 10,000 plus 5,000 plus 130 minus 6,500 minus 100, which gives me 50,000. Voila. That means my computation is right. Debit balance 50,000. I have reconciled the balances and I am getting a debit balance of rupees 50,000. So, like I said, if you're given any case or any problem, just reason out and find out which balance is higher than which one, and from whose perspective are we creating this, what is our starting point. So if our starting point is our cash book, we will make adjustments only to our cash book. If our starting point is the passbook, we will make adjustments only to the passbook. So reason out what is the impact of the transaction on both the books, which book is having a higher balance, and what adjustment has to be made. That is all bank reconciliation statement you can play if you just apply a little bit of logical reasoning. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.